went to Walmart today to walk around a little bit, and it's a Christmas town. It's November 12th, and it's already Christmassy there. I begin to think about all the many things that were bombarding my senses as I walked around Walmart. I mean, let alone there was the kid in the stroller looking at all the toys and the racks that have been added on top of the racks so that the racks are towering above you, filled with color and sparkle and packages and things that say, buy me, buy me, buy me, buy me. And, wow. And it made my brain just explode with thoughts and wonder and worry and anxiety and very often I see the negative side of things and I automatically look at the sad end of the seesaw rather than the happy end of the seesaw. And my cup is very often even more than half empty. Let's just be honest about it. So I'm working on changing my mindset. I'm working actively on changing that. Because I could be an 84-year-old really cranky lady one day. And I could just sit there in a rocking chair and just growl about how things are going and what's wrong. And I really think, who wants to be that person? I want to be the amazing old lady who's touring the world. Like Madeleine L'Engle, I think she was 84 when she went to Antarctica. Yeah, she went to Antarctica on an expedition when she was 84. I want to be that old lady. Man, let's do that. But if you're going to be the 84-year-old lady who goes on an expedition to Antarctica, you have to be the 32-year-old lady who's willing to see the glass a little bit more than half full. And I wonder, with all the social media stuff that we have now, and that's how people interact very often, and headlines and clickbait and, let's just face it, public relations and advertising are so persuasive. It can get a lot of people down. I went to a ceremony, a presentation the other day where the main speaker focused on ISIS attacking America and how the 7 pillars of Islam are fundamentally against the basics of Christianity and how America is the great Satan and we're all gonna die. The good news is, you know what? We will. However, right now, God has called us here below. We sang that this Sunday. God did call us here below for this time, in this space, and He came at a certain time. We may not have the exact date, and it's nothing like we imagine, because the Bible is very vague with their details. They don't really state things specifically, which would really be helpful. Give me some imagery. However, we do know He came, and He left. Fortunately, He's coming back. And in between those times, right now, where we are, it could be the end. I don't know. We don't know. That's the interesting thing about the storyline. When we're writing a story or reading a story, it, the timeline goes in that there's your climax rising up, and then you have a big gloom right before that climax, right before it falls in the denouement. Before that climax, you've got the big gloom. That's my favorite part because it's just really fun to say the big gloom. And what happens in that big gloom is that really bad things happen. Really bad things happen so that the climax can be even better. That the good can be even better in the face of all the bad. So what do you do if you're in the big gloom? I think sometimes people feel like they're just stuck in the big gloom, and that's sure depressing. Let's not be the people who think they're stuck in the big gloom. I mean, you can be in the big gloom, but you don't have to think like you are. Philippians 4 through 9 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. What do you do if you're in the big gloom? Go back to that. You may be surrounded by a whirlpool and a whirlwind of things that you don't understand, and they could seem really bad. They could be really bad, but God is in it with you. You are not alone. Count your blessings instead of the bad things. I'm going to go back to my old school hymnal. When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. So amid the conflict, whether great or small, do not be discouraged, God is over all. Count your many blessings, angels will attend. Your help and comfort give you to your journey's end. Count your many blessings, name them one by one. Count your many blessings, see what God has done. So when you're wondering about what's going to happen and what's going on and why are things so terrible and are we going to just all fall apart at the seams, God's still working here. We don't always think about it because we just look at what's happening on the surface. He has some great plan. We may not see it right away. We have to keep our eyes open. We have to use our minds. We have to be aware of what's going on around us. But we don't have to focus on the negative part of it. We could be scared, but there's no reason to be scared because our God wins. So there's no reason to be scared in the process. Once you start getting scared, you realize that you're the guy sinking into the water. Keep your eyes above the waves. That's some of the lyrics that I love from the song Oceans by Hillsong United. Keep my eyes above the waves. Your grace abounds in deepest waters. Maybe you're in those deep waters, in that big gloom. God's with you. You can look around and see all of the bad stuff, or you can seek God's presence. Where do you see His signature? Where do you see signs that God is living and active? Those are blessings. Count them, name them, write them down, remember them. Dwell in Him, rest in Him. It's just like the song says in White Christmas. When you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you will fall asleep counting your blessings. Have a great night.